Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. We're back from break with a vengeance and apparently with a babysitter. Triple P has been appointed as our new producer. Kyle Steele and Drew Warner join us to talk about Sandra Bullock movies and R. Kelly. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
See, Pat, it's actually been so long I can't remember where my controls are. I have no control. Hey, this is the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, and we are back. 2 weeks off, and man, I didn't want to come in here.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Have to.
But here we are. I know I didn't have to, but I love it so. And as I said in the intro, we do have a babysitter now, Triple P. Primetime producer Patrick sitting over. That's the Triple P. I gave that
Producer
to you.
Patriot
Yes.
Pat.
Oh, Patriot Pat.
Although I thought we agreed that on the Life Radio Show, Triple P meant you get 3 P's and that's it.
Well, you did say you were having some issues with the Mountain Dew, but
Well,
no,
not
we
that
have
way. Just hot
okay.
flashes, which is really because
Is it
I'm guessing
menopause.
It's
There's
the
some
ginger.
water there
menopausal?
if you want some water. That might help with the hot flashes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just douse yourself every now and then. We were talking about R. Kelly in the last. Toward the end of your show. So,
Speaking of dousing.
Yeah, speaking of well, that wasn't dousing himself. That was
Sure.
yeah. So anyway, we're back. We're back on the Life Radio Show for another glorious year, and just one more because I can't get enough. I can't get enough of Kyle Steele.
What up?
Is on the show with us today.
Thank you,
How's
sir.
it going?
Living the dream, my friend.
That's all you can hope for.
I like that we just went
So,
right into this, man.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
why not?
talking.
Why not?
We didn't even talk beforehand.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we got here.
Yeah, we got
5
here and
minutes
said,
ago.
and we're on the air.
Touche.
And Drew Warner, one of
Yes,
the Warner
sir.
brothers, is what he tells me. I don't
Well,
know.
I
just
do
take
have a brother, and
people's,
I am a Warner, so I guess technically true.
There you go. Okay. Well, I just take people at their word. 'Cause
Technically
I'm
true is the
gullible.
best kind of true.
I'm gullible.
Sure.
I did buy a comedy club. So what's been happening, Kyle? You out just living the dream, playing the game, whatever things we can
euphemisms you
throw
want
out
to
there.
throw out there, yeah.
Hey, euphemism. That's the
There it
word I
is.
was looking for, and
I-
I didn't
that's
want to
why
use
I-
it because it felt wrong at the time.
I didn't want to make you feel stupid, so I was
I
like, you know what?
appreciate
I'll shove it in there.
You'll
so that
shove
way,
the word that I wanted. You
Exactly.
knew I was going to say,
I knew what
hey,
you're trying to
that
do.
euphemism, and you
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
put it in there.
This is going nowhere already. I love it.
Off to a golden start.
Good, man. You know,
Hey, is that back to R. Kelly
a
again?
golden start.
That was the softball.
There it
Yeah.
is. You know, doing the real estate thing, doing the
Yeah.
podcast thing.
So, which podcast do you have going now, Nick? Because there is a Nicolas Cage movie I saw on Netflix the other day that I don't know if you've done.
I've done every
I
single
would
Nicolas
assume
Cage
you have.
movie in
Okay.
existence.
Okay, I can't remember what it was because I meant to write it down.
Oh yeah, I've
and
done
ask,
every
but-
single one that exists. So,
So okay, I
I'm
wasn't
done.
sure if a new one came out that we weren't aware of.
there's one that's yet to come out, and I've already done it. So, yeah, I got
Okay.
Yeah, got rights to that one too. So,
My apologies for ever
yeah,
doubting you.
don't ever quit. I had a feeling when I came in here that you're gonna doubt me, and
Well, that's
I should have trusted my
Yeah,
gut and just walked out.
so. What podcast do you have up and going? Is the next one going to be the Sandra Bullock movies?
It is. So what we're doing, we kind of rebranded stuff. So I went back into the old episodes because it was the Nicolas Cage movie review hour, right? That's
Right.
what it was called. It has a little ring to it.
Oh yeah, it's lovely.
So what we did is
Rolls right off the tongue.
we didn't want to start from scratch, right? And like do a whole new podcast, whole new fans, right? Like we have a kind of a built-in listenership. I didn't want to start from scratch. So what we did is we rebranded. I went back and all the episode titles, I labeled it S1NC for season 1 Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
That way we could do a season 2. I changed the name from Nicolas Cage Movie Review Hour to just Movie Review Hour. And now this is season 2. And we have already released 2 episodes. Our second one released yesterday of Sandra Bullock. And then some things changed.
You're because I didn't even know that, and I just made that suggestion
Sandra
because
Bullock? For
yeah,
real?
I did not know that.
Really?
I
Seriously?
did, I seriously did
That's
not
hilarious.
know that. The reason I did is because the whole Bird
Bird
Box
Box
thing
thing, yeah.
that just came out.
By the way, this
and
idea-
the fact that she has made some awful movies.
Oh.
If you ever review Murder by Numbers,
We're doing
I
all of
want
them.
on.
We're doing.
I think you are on that one. Didn't you
Really?
pick that one?
I don't remember, but I just did. If
Okay.
nobody's called that, because I seriously don't remember
Yeah.
you having a discussion with you ever.
Right.
Have I met you
I'm
before?
sorry.
Do I know where am
I
Who are
took 2
you?
weeks off. I have no idea what any of this stuff in here is.
It's that episode of The Office where
You
Michael
said Drew was coming on. I
Right.
said I don't remember him.
was like, you recorded with him. You've broken bread. She should be memorable. It's an episode of The Office where Michael is doing Toby's exit interview, and he goes and he is like in love with Holly, so he doesn't want to be mean to Toby, so he's trying really hard not to, but he's still asking his questions. He goes, "Who do you think you are?" That's what that moment reminded me of. But yes, so you're going to be coming on for sure. And Murder by Numbers is already yours.
So one of the
It's already yours, buddy. You take it.
one of the changes that
That's
we're
such
doing.
an awful movie.
One of the changes we're doing in this new season.
Yeah, there are some changes this time around.
Is that whereas in the last one it was just kind of, hey, we're going to do this movie, this movie, this movie. This time we're starting from her first movie and working our way out.
Yep.
And
Okay,
that was
so
by
I
design.
may have to wait.
So you
a
can
little
see
while.
the growth. I mean,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
think with Nicolas Cage,
It was just
we're all over the place.
Well,
but
so
to
was
me-
Nicolas Cage.
But see,
he
that's-
was a very erratic actor,
Kinda
so you
worked on
can't
him.
really put things in order with him.
Don, I'm glad you said it. Because that's where I was going to go with that. It's like ultimately, I regret a little bit that we didn't get to see the growth per se. You know, like going kind of 1 week to 2 weeks to 3
I
weeks. to 4
think it
weeks.
would have still been pretty erratic.
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah,
but I think it would have been less erratic. I think.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
With Nick
As a
Cage,
man
it's-
who's seen every single Nicolas Cage movie in existence, I probably agree with you.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
know.
I
know
don't
if it
think
really
there's
would've
another
mattered.
way to do a Nicolas Cage.
You just
movie
have to
review.
jump all around.
rather than just like getting them in a big ball and throwing it.
Yeah, whatever
somewhere.
sticks to the wall
I
is what you
think-
do.
It's like, okay, there we go. That's the order we're going to do these
Yeah.
in because there's no other way to pick them.
So one of the other things that we're doing differently in this one is where before we would, or Kyle, because I only guested on the last season.
He guessed it quite a bit,
Yeah,
but he still was just a guest.
But what they did last time was mostly streaming videos, and this
Back
time
to R. Kelly.
we're that's gonna be my thing.
Right.
But this time we're actually purchasing all of them. And
Yes.
Kyle told me a kind of funny anecdote about being at GameSwap and buying, what was it, like a half dozen or so?
Yes.
And the seller was like, "So you're a big Sandra Bullock fan, are you?"
Now, mind you, guys, this is before. I just want to make this very clear because Sandra Bullock has now like hit the news.
Yeah,
Right.
This is
Right.
long
Yeah.
before
Oh, yeah,
Bird Box.
months
Anybody was
long
even talking.
before
I didn't even
Bird
know that
Box.
Bird Box was coming out.
When did we
Like-
record the first episode? It was
Oh, we recorded the first episode at the very end of November.
yeah.
And this has been a plan since like July. So I
Right.
mean, this was long
That
before.
is weird
we
because
had known.
I really don't remember.
So I bought like 10 Sandra Bullock movies at one time at the used movie store down by me.
They so think you're a stalker.
It's
They
funny,
have probably got her on alert already.
right? Like, isn't that it happened like Bjork or something, right? Like that guy that. Yeah, no, I'm not that. I promise. Well, I mean, we'll see.
I mean, I'm
After
sure,
I watch a lot of movies,
I'm
we'll
sure
see.
they've warned Nick Cage.
Yeah, sure. We'll see what
He
happens.
probably knows about it.
Yeah.
But I bought all these movies, and the guy goes, like, you could tell he was trying to be funny, but also just genuinely interested in what was happening. He's like, "So you're a big Sandra Bullock fan, huh?" Because there was just obscure Sandra Bullock movies too.
And it wasn't like a mix of DVD, Blu-ray, VHS.
Yeah,
it was like literally. You
I was
just bought
trying. I'm
out
trying
all
to
of them.
find. We want to watch some because we have a VHS player, and we also now have a like tube television.
Oh yeah, it's
so we can
Oh,
watch
wow.
VHSs.
1984.
The way it was meant to be.
Yeah, the way it was meant
That
to
is
be.
beautiful.
So that's what we're
man.
gonna watch the VHSs
Yes.
on, and then obviously with the Blu-rays and DVDs too.
Yeah, hopefully we can get them to roll while we're watching.
Right, see if we can
because
do
they
that.
have to adjust the tracking
Yeah.
every 13
So they're all
seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly. Smack the top. So that'll be cool to kind of experience
Patrick,
that.
what back in the day,
What a VHS is.
you had
Y'all
a
are older
tracking
than I
adjuster
am.
where you had it was a little knob on the VCR that when everything got blurry on the side, you had to adjust that until it weren't blurry no more.
Okay, so here's something I actually do remember.
Oh,
Because when I was a little kid, we did have a VCR with a little tracking knob on it.
there it is.
And I remember being a little curious kid that I was, liking to play around with that to mess around with the picture.
There it is.
Yeah, throwing the picture to one side of the screen, then to the other
Go back.
side. Yeah,
Or
I was
making it do
talking
that
to
weird thing where the colors split apart, and
Right.
things
Yep.
like that.
I was talking to an intern at work and about how we were doing this and how we got some VHS. I was really excited about that. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen those before. What are those like?" And I'm like, "Well, you're not that young." He's like, "Oh, I'm 19." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm 30.
My
so
bad.
I guess you are that young."
Yeah. Here's,
So
But yeah, so that'll be fun. And then I kind of made that joke, and I was like, yeah, we're actually going to watch it for a
See,
podcast. We're
I
watching
think I have Murder by Numbers on DVD, so if you don't have it, you are welcome to mine.
We do already have that
Okay.
one. We do already have. You frame that. You go ahead and frame that.
I will. You got to sign it for me. though.
Right. Me.
not
I'll be the one,
Bullock.
not Sandra Bullock, but me.
Right, because I want somebody I like to sign it.
Exactly. Ah, Sandy.
Oh,
No,
no.
she,
Sandy B.
she's done some good work like decades ago.
Sure.
And
Listen,
Bird Box wasn't bad.
but this is part of the reason why I want to do this. Is I think Sandra Bullock is pretty loved just across the board. I've never
Oh,
heard anybody.
My dad hates her.
Is that true?
Hates her, and it was funny because I told him about this, and I thought he was
See,
like joking.
not completely, yeah.
And he was like, "She has never done a good movie," and I'm like, "Speed was pretty good." He's like, "No,
no,
awful."
it
And I'm
Speed
like,
is not a
it
good
wasn't,
movie.
no.
It's so good.
Thank
Speed
you,
is not a
Kyle.
good
I-
movie.
Oh
I
God,
appreciate
who
that,
are
yeah.
you people?
What's funny is that I remember really liking Murder by Numbers. I remember
the acting was
really,
hideous,
really.
man. I hated that movie.
But listen, when I watched that movie, though, I mean, I couldn't tell you how old I was. I don't know if I really cared.
Well, yeah. that's
So, I
true.
mean, we'll see now, like how it goes. But
And well, it was also a movie that my ex-wife had, so I probably had a little bit of hatred toward it.
Okay.
Like residual
You know,
hatred
so
there.
yeah, it's because I watched it like right toward the end of things, and it's like it's kind of the moment that I realized it wasn't going to work out.
it's up with Murder by Numbers.
That was the tipping point.
Yeah, I saw this. I
At
was
least
like,
at least you did
like
get
this
to.
movie because we can't be together
this
anymore.
will be
Yeah.
good.
At least you didn't get to a point where you started like
Filed the next day. It
viewing
was
Murder by
done.
Numbers as like a self-help thing. So at least you skipped over that.
Don, that's when you went to ghost marriages.
Yeah. Well, my
I
wife
think I
now
always-
often thinks she's married to a ghost. She never sees me,
Oh.
even when I'm home.
So what was it? It was so in one of the last episodes we had Tim Hyland on as one of our guests. He was
Yep.
the former co-host that I took over for.
Right.
And we
What?
spent probably about
nothing against you, but what happened to Tim?
It's just a commitment.
Oh, okay.
He did a full season.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We're gonna tap Drew, and we'll probably tap Tim. For
Yeah,
the third
he'll
season.
be done.
Bounce
Yeah,
around.
he'll be tired of it at the end.
Yeah,
Of
I'm the one that's gonna keep doing these because I'm an idiot.
you're
Yep,
insane.
I'm surprised you don't have more gray.
It's insane, man. And it's funny. I did I did like a podcast the other day. It was an impromptu thing. It was with real estate, and the guy was like, "Give me a couple interesting facts about yourself," and I was like, "Well, I've seen every Nicolas Cage movie," and he's like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, you've seen a lot of Nicolas Cage movies.
Not a lot.
Like how many? I'm like-
Everyone.
I'm like, no. Yeah. What you heard was I've seen a lot. What I said was I've seen every Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah. Which
And,
ones? All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely
Literally,
all.
there is not one that I have not. And it is going to be weird to then. There's no crossover between Sandra Bullock
Yeah,
and Nicolas
so they'll all be
Cage.
new.
So it's going to be all new.
Yeah.
And then for season 3, we have a couple choices.
They were never in a movie together?
No,
And then
surprisingly.
for season 3, we have a couple
Wow.
choices, and there's no crossover between Sandra or Nick.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
yeah, we're really planning this out in a weird way.
With no segue.
With season
no
4,
in between movies.
No,
where
with
you,
season
yeah,
4,
that is-
depending on what we do there, I mean, we might then start having some crossover. But
right, because eventually
you're just going to have
Yeah, you're
to.
gonna
like,
run out.
Starting by
what-
season
what-
6,
what
right?
is-
6
what-
degrees.
What is the Kevin Bacon thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
6
so, yeah.
degrees. So
So
eventually by
you
season
got
6, we'll have
seasons and
crossover.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we had Tim on, and Tim and I spent probably the first 10 minutes or so trying to figure out how to share the live podcast on Facebook.
yeah.
And now I'm sat here looking at Twitter for the first time in my life, and I don't know how to make a tweet.
Ah,
So
let me
I
know
was
you
gonna
said tweet.
ask you to do that.
Boom.
and then I just type what's happening, and
There
then
it
I
is.
send
There
it.
you go.
There it is,
and
buddy.
The world knows.
Boom.
Yeah, and
The whole wide world.
If you want to tag, the show you're on, you can do at Don Smith Comedy.
There it is.
Okay.
That's
But-
who I am on Twitter.
By the
Is
way,
that
I'm
the-
sick. Just if anyone doesn't know, that's why my voice sounds a little funky.
Is that?
Oh, that's okay.
No one cares about that.
I'm just letting you
Yeah.
know. My
Is
voice
that
sounds
the
worse.
ad is
Yeah, I
the
didn't
hashtag
notice
thing,
in your
right?
voice, your hair. I knew,
Yeah.
but
I look like the same
yeah,
person.
you look like you just woke up. And like that man's sick.
Here, why don't you make
It's
the
not
first,
too bad. It's just
Why don't you make the tweet and then I can look at it and see what tweets are supposed to look like?
Tweet for me.
I'm gonna-
give
I'm
me a
gonna-
sample tweet.
I'll make like a whole paragraph, and people are like, I'm not reading that. Is there a character limit on tweets?
it's like 100.
I think they doubled it, didn't they? Didn't they double it or
My
something?
knowledge.
I
I
thought they
They
increased
did.
it because
They did.
I have-
It got increased.
I
What
have
is
so much to learn.
Here's a perfect chance for you to plug the show on Twitter. What is the handle for the Life?
The Life doesn't have one. I just have
Oh,
it
it's
on
just Don
as
Smith
at
Comedy?
Don Smith Comedy. Yeah, and that has the Life logo on it and everything. So that's pretty much the Life's.
Yeah, I get told that I'm basically an old lady, and I try and refute that, and then I find that I have crystal candy dishes in my house.
That's
And-
100% true.
To be fair,
Nice.
I have crystal candy. Well, not crystal, but the glass candy.
Yeah,
dishes
with-
as
you know,
well.
Right.
He was just trying to tell you how wealthy he is by throwing out
Crystal.
crystals.
So I actually bought
Crystal dishes.
the one that I have now. I bought from the guy across the street for $1. So
Nice.
yeah,
So you went out and bought a crystal candy dish.
yes, one of them is a chicken. That one I don't think is crystal. It's a
Oh,
it's
okay,
a
it's
it's a
chicken.
hen. You lift it up off the basket, and then
It's just made
inside
of. It's made of
So
chicken.
this is
Yeah.
this is just a thing you
It
do. is
smells
that-
Yes.
absolutely awful. It makes the candy inedible, but
No,
you know.
but,
Now,
but I
how-
like taking
how do you-
chickens and sewing them into dishes.
How exactly do you try to refute that you're a little old lady?
well, I think he wants to refute it.
Oh,
I
but he has no ammo.
When
He
people
has
yell-
no
Listen,
way
and
to do
as
it.
you walk around, you think there's a bunch of cookie tins, but they are not filled with cookies. I'll tell you
they're
that.
filled with my sewing equipment. No, I actually don't sew.
Knit.
But
You knit.
But I do. I'm trying to
He
learn.
knits.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn. I think that'd be that'd be good.
It's a good
that'd be
skill to
hobby,
have. Why not?
right?
So
Cheap,
just a
uh,
front. Are you like keeping weed in the candy dishes or something? Because it.
yeah, man. I wish.
Well, I was
Soon.
going to stop by if. Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out whether I was coming over later or not.
Yeah.
So we made a tweet. Where does it show up?
Well,
This is
you're not
all
on the
Twitter,
thing.
Made a
buddy.
tweet.
You have to go to your
welcome,
home.
Yeah, welcome
Where's
to
the
the Twitter
left?
tutorial on the Life
It's
Radio
the
show.
thing. It's the button that says home.
It makes sense.
That's
because
other people's
Twitter
things.
is part of
Well,
life.
then where's my?
I
Oh,
can't
there it
explain.
is.
If you
I see
can't
it.
find your own tweet,
Okay, the tweet is live. It's at Movie Review Hour.
He has to lose a little bit of weight so we can see his own tweets.
That is the pot on the kettle, the darkest shade of black. Actually. Surprised that chair's still standing.
Oh, it's sitting.
Anyway, oh, God. Anyways, we've been best
and
friends
he's
since high
gnawing on
school.
the arm.
If
Yeah,
you
we're
couldn't
talking
tell.
about.
We have, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, that's
Today's
good.
his
That's
30th
good.
birthday.
Oh, God.
Well,
I was
happy
hoping no one would
birthday!
say
I
that.
didn't know we were having a birthday celebration on the show today.
Yeah.
I would
We're not. We're not. It's because we're not.
Yeah,
I had,
we're not singing.
I had
Yes,
intended on spending it in a dark room crying at the death of my 20s. And then Kyle reminded me that we had this. So I was like, well, this would be a better use of my time.
Well, you know, the trick with getting over losing your 20s is to stay drunk through like literally all of them.
That is my life.
That's how I did it. And by when I woke up after I went to bed when I was 19. I woke up at 31. I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Where am
yeah.
I?
Yeah, and then once the 30s go, it's like, oh, that was a thing. And now in your 40s, you don't care anymore.
It's just that's
So
the
it's
way
like
it
bring
is.
on the 50s. It can't be worse. Bring on the 60s. I don't think I'll make it much past that. Honestly,
I'm here for a good time,
I'm already
not for a long
referring
time.
to 2019 as the year of my first heart attack.
Yeah.
And I haven't had it yet. I'm just
Nice.
I know it's coming.
We know it's coming. So,
Yeah.
well, good luck.
Well,
Let me know if you
thanks,
need anything, I
thanks.
guess.
Well, hopefully it won't be my last, just my first.
Okay.
If it's my last, there's a problem.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully I won't combine it and be my first and last.
Yeah, that's always the plan.
Yeah, I love getting a little
The
dark.
plan,
on
I
the
guess,
show.
is to not have a first.
Well, yeah,
but,
it's
you know.
not really a plan. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's just kind of-
it happens. It's the thing
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, heart's attack. That's. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
That's
I want
gonna
to
be
call
my
it.
epitaph.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to
Heart's
call this
attack.
episode "Heart's Attack" because I was originally. Because I originally wrote down a title for this episode called "Streaming with R. Kelly"
Just
because we
topical.
kept going
Yeah,
back to
we
that.
did.
It's working.
Comedy.
Yep, I will probably have. Yeah, that's a callback.
No,
we
what
can
is
make, we
R.
can make that a
Kelly
hashtag, right?
What's
we can make it
that?
a hashtag comedy.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Hashtag
Yeah.
comedy.
You on
Hashtag
Twitter?
streaming with R.
Hashtag,
Kelly.
Yep.
I like it.
I was saying, what is R. Kelly streaming? You know what I mean?
Well, don't you?
Yeah, I don't want to.
That's for R. Kelly to know and for you to feel over your body.
For somebody to
for
have
you to
video-
shower while crying.
for somebody to probably have video of catching it.
So what are we doing here today?
I have no idea. Plugging things, I guess, and plugging and talking.
Plugging and talking.
Yeah, welcome to plugging and talking on the live radio.
With R. Kelly.
Well, you know what? With our that's some odd plug-in then. So let's let's talk about the first three movies. Have you released? You only released 2.
I released the first 2. Third one's coming out.
Okay, what's the first one you did? What is, because you said you're going in order.
In order.
What is Sandra Bullock's first movie?
1987's Hangmen.
and it was
Never
bad.
seen it.
It was bad. I don't recommend it.
Very, very bad. She was barely in it, but she
They
was in it.
plastered her
But she was in
all
it,
over
so
the
you had
DVD
to-
box.
Now, because it was
Right
a
now,
re-release.
it's like,
yeah.
hey, she's in this.
Yeah.
See, that's what some of the really cheesy low budget movies. Someday I hope to be featured on their covers
Right.
because I'm somebody.
Right.
That's right. That's really my goal, is not to make better movies.
Which
just
heart
to be
attack is this
featured
between?
Might have like a 5-second part
second
in
and
it.
third. I
Okay,
think,
good.
Because it would be 2 years from now. I'm planning all this ahead of time. That
Sure.
way, well, you got to save up. You got because hospitals are expensive.
They are.
Anymore,
You got-
yeah.
anymore.
And who can afford
Yeah.
insurance?
And the
Hashtag
government
politics.
shut down, so
There
you
it
know
is.
they're not fixing
Well, most of the
anything
government
anytime
anyway.
soon. Yeah, but none of the important parts
Right. I'm
ever
still
work anyway, so why bother?
I'm still stuck going to work. But
What's that?
I said I'm still stuck going to
You,
work.
you don't work for the government, do you?
I work for
The
the
Department
Navy.
of Defense.
Yeah, I work for the DOD.
Okay.
So
Well,
our money is
hopefully
already,
they aren't shut down.
already. No, we're still trudging.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Or are
that's
they
along.
actually paying you? Because that's the
So far, unless
Okay.
they're just ghosting my account and making it look
Yeah.
like they're paying me. But yeah, so far they're still
that
paying
could
me.
be. Yeah. Oh well, that's good. That's
for you.
It's good that they pay the department.
So
Department of Depends.
for all the people who are
in Depends.
for all the people not getting paid who are on furlough right now, this is the guy to yell at.
Yes, I have
Oh,
actually
okay.
been yelled at on the
Reddit?
the old Reddit.
Okay,
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
All right.
they're like, "Well, your job's not essential," and I'm like, "Well, but I'm still getting paid, so it
Yeah.
must be."
Oh well.
Enjoy not getting paid.
But- Hangman.
Essential enough to get paid.
Hangman was terrible.
It was
Speaking-
bad.
Speaking of the Department of Defense, that's what the movie was.
It was it was basically and I think honestly the first 3 movies have probably basically been like this. They were somebody took a VHS device,
One of the old slim cams.
and then they
It was you took a VHS and then
and they
ripped it onto a DVD.
Oh, okay.
Like it
okay.
didn't even have subtitles.
Yeah, I mean they were just
It was
grainy and you couldn't hear anything.
nothing. You could hear the sound effects crisp. And
Yeah,
clear.
the
Like,
sound effects
people,
were
Yeah, just
pristine.
no dialogue.
people would be
Yeah.
walking down a hallway talking, and you would just hear clicking of their feet.
yeah,
You're like,
that's all you'd hear.
"Yeah, I'm gonna assume they're talking about nefarious things because that's the idea
See,
of this movie.
that's the thing. Most people don't realize, because I'm sure these are low budget. Possibly
I don't
indie
know.
I
films.
don't
think
think
so.
they were as low budget
Really?
as you'd
I don't think that one
I just
was.
think they weren't very good.
Because
We couldn't find-
that's one of the things I always try to stress, because I'm involved in a lot of independent film, a lot of low budget indie film, micro, mini, non-existent budgets, and that's to me one of the most important things is sound. You can have
yeah.
somewhat grainy footage, you can have a cheap camera.
Yeah.
But if your sound is bad, you can have the most expensive camera in the world. If your sound is crap, your movie's crap.
This is my advice to podcasters when I get a chance.
Well, mine's crap because
No, it's not.
I record it live. So
It's not true whatsoever. But this is my advice to podcasters because I do a lot of this now. I do like 4 podcasts. It feels like so I get asked a lot of advice for podcasts, and my advice is always focus on sound. Get your sound right.
Well, and I
because
think I
ultimately content is important, but you'll figure that out as you're going along. And
Well, as a
and if you
former
don't have good
co-host-
content, you'll just stop doing it.
A former co-host once very smugly told me, "Well, it is an audio media." So,
So they go, who
and
is
it's
this person?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is an audio media, but
It is.
Well,
you
I mean,
can't-
I
But
remember-
it's so
you
if
can't
pe-
be so focused on
no
that
one-
that you're bored with everything else.
It's
Yeah.
true, but here's the thing: nobody in the history of ever is going to strain their ears to listen to you talk about something. They're just not.
That is
If they
true,
if they turn a podcast on, you're advertising something. They turn it on. I don't care if you're the most interesting guy in the world. If they can't hear you, they're not gonna be like, well, let me really plug my ears here so I can really hear this. They're just gonna turn it off. They're not gonna listen to it.
Well, that was
so. I mean, it's really important that it sounds. But it's the same thing with movies.
And at the same time, you can have the best sound in the world. If
but
your
if your content sucks,
is crap,
you'll just disappear anyway.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
You'll disappear anyway. You know what I mean? People with bad sound may stick around for a while because the content's good.
Right.
But ultimately, it's not going to work out. And flip that with good sound and bad content, they'll just fizzle.
Right.
Because they're not going to enjoy what they're doing because they're not very good at it. So they'll just...
Yeah, but some people, it's kind of like some of the open mic comics. They don't realize they suck. And some of them really, really do.
How embarrassing
But they
is
keep
that?
doing it.
Like, do you feel
they
that in
think
your
that-
body when you're talking to someone who does not realize something about themselves, and then you and everybody else know, and you
So
like
many
you
times.
know that the people in the room know, and they have no idea. Oh, it makes me. I feel sick to my stomach right now thinking about
It's a little painful
it.
to watch. It really
But it's not
is.
just open mics; it's other places
Yeah.
too, where you're
Yeah.
like, this person does not know this thing about themselves, and it's terrible.
I had a realtor
You
that
trying
was
to
like
tell
that
me
once.
something?
I'm trying really hard to like.
Yeah, you're just subtly
I
hinting.
can't hint any harder.
All right.
I call it the Don.
Yeah, that's a good thing to call it. Popular name. Call it the Donald, even better.
Ooh.
For somebody who's really not good at doing something they think they're good at doing.
Nailed it.
That's why. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Comedy Rundown. We'll take a little break. Here's this week's Comedy Rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Tuesday, January 8th, tonight, open mic at Peach's Grill at 104 Xenia Avenue in Yellow Springs. That show starts at 8 p.m. Wednesday, January 9th, open mic at South Park Tavern at 1301 Wayne Avenue. That show starts at 9 p.m. Also on Wednesday, Dayton Story Slam Workshop is going to be at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. Thursday, January 10th, open mic at the Spirited Goat at 118 Dayton Street in Yellow Springs. I believe those are still going on. That show starts at 7 p.m. Also an open mic at the Barrel House at 417 East 3rd Street from 8:30 to 11 p.m. And sorry, I'm trying to get this name here. I think I messed this name up when I wrote it on here. I think it's Bodacious is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. I did this in a hurry last night. So I had 2 weeks off, and I had to do this in a hurry last minute. So
It's either
perfect.
bodacious or bootylicious.
Yeah,
It's not
one or
sure.
the other. One or the other. Just go out and be pleasantly surprised. Friday and Saturday, January 11th and 12th, Derek Zoo is going to be at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. I believe Mike Wells is going to be hosting
Say
that. There'll be
Derek
a bunch
Zoo?
of- Derek Zoo,
That
yes.
is dangerously close to Derek Zoolander.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
That
I believe
would have
that's his
been
full name. Friday through Sunday, January 11th through the 13th, D.L. Hughley is going to be at Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Sunday, January 13th, open mic night at Mila's Suburban Cafe at 606 Taywood Road in Englewood. Sign-up start all the way at 3 p.m. You can call 937-832-2200. That show starts at 7 p.m. And also Sunday, Wiley's Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club. Get out and laugh more in the new year with Dayton's best comics. Or whoever shows up. And me, I will be on there as
Rousing.
well. So
Rousing
Dayton's
plug.
best comics and me. That is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. And don't forget to show some love on Monday nights to the open mic at Hannah's at 121 North Ludlow Street in Dayton. Now, here's a little, I think, Potter's Field, because I put these breaks together last night because my babysitter's supposed to be doing this. We will be back here shortly.
Nothing can hold me down. name is Wallace J. Crumplebottom, and when it's early in the morning, there's nothing that gets me ready for a long day of bean counting quite like a good breakfast. And there's no better breakfast than a brand new episode of The Breakfast Lads. Take it from me, I'm British, so I must know what I'm talking about. Tune in every Wednesday at 8 a.m. for a brand new episode of The Breakfast Lads, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
Nothing brings people together quite like the movies, and every week Aaron Lopez wants you to join him in a discussion about the latest and greatest in the world of film. So grab a drink, grab some popcorn, and get comfy. Come join Aaron and friends every Thursday at The Drive-In, presented by Eventide Entertainment.
Now, you've been staring over that edge for hours, and people die down there. And dying when you're not really sick is really sick, you know? Really.
All right, we're back on the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with our babysitter, Triple P, Prime Time, that guy. I don't know.
You have one. You only get two more.
Yep, he's already had one. And, yeah, well, we only have two more breaks after this, so we're just chugging along. Chugging along. Streaming.
Streaming along.
Streaming with R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Does I'm not going to call you Triple P. What is your name?
Patrick.
Patrick. Does caffeine mess with you?
Usually not, but the Mountain Dew had ginseng in it as well, and I'm thinking. Usually I don't have a problem with it, but today it's messing with me.
Yeah, I quit drinking.
Did you put your own ginseng in? I didn't know Mountain Dew came with that crap in it, too.
The Mountain Dew Volt does.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I quit drinking caffeine a couple months ago.
Really?
Yep.
How are you awake?
He's been a vegan about it.
No.
Literally everyone that he comes
not.
in contact with, he goes, "Oh, hi, you're the mailman? Guess what? I quit caffeine."
Yep, I quit caffeine.
And the mailman's like, "I just need you to sign here."
I'm proud of myself, so I want to talk about it.
Hey, good job, man. Good job.
And I would suggest that others do the same.
Yeah, I limit my intake of caffeine. I only drink it when absolutely necessary, but today was one of those absolutely necessary. Otherwise, I'm going to fall asleep during my radio show days.
Sure.
Well, I try to limit my caffeine intake. I have only 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day, the 24 ounce. Yeah, that's all.
That's it.
Just to start my morning, because that's all. You don't need more than that.
Sure.
That's all. Other than the 3 or 4 sodas.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's how I was too.
Well,
I did that every day.
Well,
and it was just...
it's hard to wean off of caffeine with the Coke habit.
Well, I always call coffee starting fluid for the morning impaired.
Right.
I think I've had more. I kind of think caffeine was more difficult than heroin. I'm going to be really honest with you.
So you quit heroin?
Yeah. And mentally, I think this is worse.
Are you?
I'm being dead serious.
Let's touch on this.
I talked a little bit when I was with Scotty.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Why is my memory gone?
You have a horrible memory, guy.
I do. Why am I on a radio show?
Wait a minute. Who am I?
Yeah, wait a minute. Are these my pants?
They're never your pants.
That is weird. I forgotten every conversation you and I have ever had because you just proved to me. On the break, you proved to
that
me
we have discussed
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
And I thought I was so clever. So I did remember. I just buried it in the back of my mind.
You remembered it, but you internalized it as you were.
It was my idea.
Yes.
That way I could accept that you're doing it.
Exactly.
So you're welcome. That's what I'm trying to say. You can run with that idea of mine all you want. That's...
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that man. I guess I gotta start smoking weed because I haven't stopped.
You're I don't have an excuse.
Yeah,
caffeine.
Non-THC marijuana is now legal in the country.
In the country,
so weed is not legal, is what you're saying.
Oh, like hemp. You're saying hemp.
Yeah,
hemp
is legal.
Yeah, we can make ropes.
That was a crazy way to put that. Non-THC. That was
non-THC marijuana.
That was like hemp. Is that what we're talking about?
So we can make ropes. That's good. That's good.
That's farm bill that Donald Trump passed in December included hemp. So hemp is legal.
As it should.
Well, it should. Well,
yeah.
It
didn't make any sense that it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, certainly
it
hemp.
looks the same.
Yeah, certainly hemp didn't make sense. I mean,
whatever.
None of it makes sense. I get pot's a drug, like whatever. I get it. It's going to take more time. But I mean, hemp certainly doesn't make any sense. It's nothing.
Right. Well,
What was he? You'd have to smoke
most of the government,
like a street pole worth of it to like do anything to
Yep.
you, and then you would just
light
die.
that for me.
Yeah, your lungs would explode before it ever. You had a mental.
Well, that's
effect.
the rush.
Yeah. What's like CBD oil? Like there's a big push against that, even though it's
Right.
not
Not,
hallucinogenic.
it's not
I mean,
the
it's-
THC.
It's the THC that does that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
CBD.
So
Which that was something I was reading
OMG.
about how all these new designer strains are starting to emphasize the THC while the CBDs are getting removed. And so they're having less medicinal effect. A lot of these more
Yeah.
like super potent, fancy strains out
Yeah.
in Colorado and stuff, which is kind of problematic.
going
Yeah,
the opposite
yeah.
way of where they were trying to go. I want to use like CBD because I have anxiety and stuff, but I don't know. I just don't want to mess with anything like that.
Right. Well, you don't want to get a designer strain. It can
Well,
really
yeah.
mess you up. That's
Well, I would probably do like the oils and stuff, but I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
At this point, I have to just call. I just have to. Can't really do anything.
right.
So we posted this tweet like a while ago and no one's retweeted it.
Is that upsetting you?
Yeah, it's really bothering me.
Yeah.
Like I've checked this like 6 times and I was just expecting it to explode, but it's just
right.
not
Because
happening.
it's, well, you did tag me in it, so it
Yeah,
should have.
you'd
By
think.
all rights. She should have.
I mean, you
thousands
liked
of
it.
hits
I
by now.
appreciate that.
Patrick has
Patrick
not.
has
So
not
we-
liked it.
Now
so
we
I
know.
don't use Twitter. Sorry.
we know where you stand
He's
now.
an-
Well,
he's-
download it, like
he's
it,
an-
and then delete
just,
it.
just for this tweet, get it out there. That's to the 0 followers you would have.
Actually, I think I might have a Twitter. I just don't use it. It's just hooked up
okay.
to my Facebook and retweeting everything that I post on.
Oh, okay.
Oh
okay,
well,
so, yeah.
the government loves that.
Should we hit a few news stories since it's to get us
Yeah.
up to the top of the hour so we can just reset and hopefully I don't forget everything we talked about in this hour and the next hour and just
Okay.
start talking about it all again. Let's hit some news stories. A Scottish bicyclist who filmed a motorist using a cell phone while driving, then confronted him about it. Watched the driver crash into another car moments later after the man seems to claim he can safely drive while fiddling with his phone. No one appears to have been hurt in the fender-bender crash. Some might say karma was served. In an edited viral video of the encounter posted last week, the cyclist, Dr. Dave Brennan, pulls next to the driver in traffic and chastises him for claiming he can safely use his phone while commuting. It's people like you that kill people like me, Brennan says in the clip, which I guess that was an invitation. The driver soon pulls away and later plows into the car that stops in front of him. So, brilliant.
Wow.
There's like a comic that did a skit. He does a bunch of those. Oh my gosh! I'm
Well-
not even going to even continue this.
I mean, if
That's
it's,
okay.
It's a
go
guy.
ahead.
It's a guy that's done Bob and Tom all the time, and he does Tom Mabe.
Oh, okay.
Tom
yeah.
Mabe has a skit where it's a fake video, but it looks real, but it went really viral because everyone thought it was real.
Right.
Where he's like filming someone on their phone driving. He's like, look at this person just driving down, not even paying attention.
And he's
last-
on his
and all of a
phone
sudden,
filming it.
the car crashes and you see glass flying, and yeah. It's a Tom Mabe thing.
well, if you ever want to take your life into your hands, just go ahead and hop in Kyle's car.
Whatever.
He's usually got 3 or 4 different phones and answering,
He's
his
podcasting. He's got
Yeah.
a podcast going. Well,
a wall trying to shift, and he's short shifting, and then he floors it, and it's a very sobering experience driving with Kyle. I'm in danger.
If you want another way to get life in your hands, get a portable radio and tune into the live radio show.
Oh, look at this. That's the way we keep him around.
yeah, for those gyms. Sorry, my chair is sinking. I had to. I felt
Yeah,
like
so
I was
everybody
getting
made fun of me
shorter
for
and
being
shorter.
fat, and so far the only people who've had chair problems are Don and Drew.
That's
So,
because yours is already on the ground.
I can't
Well,
wait for mine to
I-
shatter as I'm sitting
Literally,
here.
yours is as low as it can go.
I don't
right
want
now.
to shock you, Kyle. I also am fat. I don't want to. I
You
didn't
don't
wanna
look a
ruin
day
that.
over.
I don't look a day over 300. You don't look a pound over 300.
Wait a minute. We're starting to measure our weight in days now?
Keep up, Patrick. Keep up.
Yep.
We're so
Well,
heavy.
days
it takes
left
us-
till my heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. There you go.
If you have a heart attack this year, I'm going to be really mad at you.
I know. I feel really
Don't-
bad.
don't
It's like,
let that
you
happen.
did that on purpose.
Don't let that happen.
Quit
I'm gonna be
faking
real
it, Don.
I feel like I've had several. They were just small enough I didn't notice them.
Sure.
Yeah. And that could have just been my first marriage. I don't know.
I will forever associate Murder by Numbers with your prior marriage.
Yep. I don't even think I've ever seen that movie. don't remember it. Irene O'Shea may have just started skydiving 2 years ago at the age of 100, but she's showing no signs of stopping now. The 102-year-old great-grandmother of 11 attempted to break the record for the world's oldest skydiver after she leapt from a plane in South Australia on Sunday. O'Shea completed the milestone jump to raise money for Motor Neuron Disease Association of Southern Australia, MNDSA, just in case you didn't know all that.
Does this story have an explanation of that?
A non-profit organization that supports those who suffer from motor neuron disease. In case you didn't know what that organization did, that's called Motor Neuron Disease Association of Southern Australia. In case you thought they went around door to door
promoting
giving people motor neuron disease.
What is motor neuron disease?
Right, I guess that's where your motor neurons aren't.
They're ill.
Working.
They have a disease.
They're diseased is what it is. O'Shea, whose daughter died of the disease at the age of 67, was able to raise nearly $12,000 for the organization. She is still raising money for the cause on GoFundMe. Southern Australia Skydiving, a skydiving shop, in case you didn't know what they did, based in Wellington, most likely Australia.
Boom.
Assisted O'Shea with her jump Sunday. The 102-year-old was challenging a previous record held by Kenny Myers, a New Jersey man who set the latest record in 2017 after completing his jump in Sussex County. When she set the record for this weekend, O'Shea was 21 days older than Myers. Was when he set the record
if I'm that
in
Myers
2017.
Guy, I'm either dead or I'm really unhappy that my record got
like,
broke.
Really,
Or-
dude, I couldn't just have that.
He might not even know. He might not even. Who's this Mike Myers?
Or, you know
Wasn't
what,
that the Cat in the Hat? No, Kenny Myers. Kenny Myers.
Kenny Loggins?
See,
See, I couldn't even remember the name I just read.
I like to think that there is a person in this world, and you know that they exist. There's a person in this world who only associates Michael Myers with his portrayal of Cat in the Hat. Like, you know, that is a real person somewhere.
Yes.
I really love that.
And they would be, if they ever watched Halloween, they would wonder why the Cat in the Hat is
so
wearing
violent.
a hockey mask.
Right?
The Cat in the hockey mask.
I think that's Jason.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, Mike Myers
that's
is the ones with
yeah,
the
Mike
claws
Myers.
and
Yeah,
Mike Myers is
Fedora.
a blank face.
Yeah, I
he's-
get them all confused
got
because
the-
they're weird.
It's a white, but it's like a blank face.
No. Mike Myers has the burned face and the claws and the
I thought
top
that was
hat.
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh, what?
dump,
Hold on.
dump.
You're on the radio, Drew.
Sorry.
4836. I'll write it down on there. That way we know to edit that out so we can rebroadcast. Are we rebroadcasting these, by the way?
Yeah.
When are they? Because I know that there's a noon to 2 show.
I was asking
somebody else
because I
has.
forgot.
I thought we were doing like 10 to noon on Wednesdays, and then we were going to pick a time on Thursdays and do it twice, because that way you get 3 times the life in 1 week. I get excited.
You
Excited
take it.
about this. I
You
get
take
excited.
that
I'm
life.
trying to break the record on life radio shows broadcasted on this station per week. Get Guinness on the phone.
You take that life.
Yeah. I'm going to take a life right now. That's
If we
good
could-
radio.
If we can just get Drew to clean up his potty mouth.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Anyway, where were we?
So, okay, oh, no, you're right. He's the one that doesn't have any
Yeah, I know that I'm right. I never
just
questioned
like no
whether I was
facial
right or wrong.
features. He's got just the white.
with the white.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Now that we got our.
Again, I never questioned it, so I don't.
Okay, yeah. So you were right. The whole.
Well, it's a good thing we can help you realize that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks to both
we
of you.
appreciate your rightness.
Where you at on this one, Patrick?
Is he right? He's right. He knows.
I have no idea. I completely blanked for the last minute.
He's still lost on my potty mouth.
Yeah,
I'm lost. I'm lost on that.
So that's basically like any listeners to this show. They've completely blanked for the last minute, too. Especially when 10 seconds of the show just vanished. They don't know what happened. Did he really kill somebody? it just flashed to nothing. He's back saying he's taking a life.
I'll tell you what, we took a big
Why do your
shift
listeners
in the
sound
wrong
like that?
direction.
Your listeners have a very peculiar voice.
Yeah, they do. They
Incredibly
do.
specific.
I have a very specific listenership. I just those are
They
my
all
people.
shop at flea markets.
Yeah, they're all little old ladies. And Drew.
Yeah.
Yep. They all shop at flea markets for chicken crystal candy dishes.
I wish I had a picture of that thing. It's so cool.
Chicken crystal.
Chicken
I think we got
crystal.
Chicken crystal.
Chicken
Golly.
crystal.
We got 3 Twitter things.
Oh, 3 Twitter things.
Oh,
Man,
well, one of them is you, Kyle.
you don't count.
Oh,
Kyle.
but Eric
Babucio.
Babucio.
Lucio.
Eric
He liked my
Babucio.
tweet. If you're
I
listening,
haven't had. Well, that's because you cussed.
That's what
That's
Eric
why
popped up.
he heard that and he said, "Oh, hey, I like that."
There it is.
do I read? Can I like his like?
You can.
You cannot like his like. That's way too meta
It's
for Twitter.
unlikable likes.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, you
too
can.
complicated for Twitter to code.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I like your like, Eric.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Eric, thank you for your likes.
Thank you
You
for
are
your like.
liked for your liking. No one can say with certainty. I'm going to go ahead and cover this one again because we really didn't get enough mileage out of it. Besides R. Kelly,
It's because of that motor neuron disease that we didn't get
Right.
enough mileage out of.
That's true. That's true. No one can say with certainty why the 29-year-old decided to climb onto the roof of the Chinese restaurant, strip off his bulky jacket, and slide down the greasy vent wearing only a T-shirt, a thin T-shirt. Sergeant Ray Kelly,
As opposed to
R. Kelly, a public information officer for Alameda County Sheriff's Office, told NPR that the man has been, quote, less than truthful about his true intentions. Less than truthful about his. Why would
what
he
were
say-
his intentions?
But the objective seems straightforward enough. He's a pretty slender guy, and based on the viscosity of the walls, coupled with the fact that he took off his clothes, probably thought he was going to slide right down, Kelly said. It seemed like a solid plan until he got stuck. It turned out it wasn't a straight drop from the roof to the floor. After making it about 5 feet down the chute, the 5'9" man, which again, he was 5'9" tall.
like 9
he wasn't
inches
5
down.
foot and 9 inches. He was a 5'9" man. He hit a turn in the vent, forcing him into a semi-crouch position with his arms reaching up, immobilized over his head.
Oh,
He
this is my
stayed that
nightmare.
way for 2 days.
Oh, that is my nightmare. Oh man,
Well, then
I'm gonna
don't
walk
go
around
sliding
now.
down.
Yeah,
the
that
grease
is your
chute.
nightmare, to slide down the grease chute at a Chinese restaurant
I just need to move my hands
And you're-
around.
with no clothes other than a thin T-shirt.
Hey, I have
and
a
your
very
hands-
specific
yeah,
nightmare. Okay.
That's I have
mean,
a
it's
very
like-
specific listenership. You have a specific
I will
nightmare.
say, I feel bad for him on some level.
I feel bad for him that Sergeant R. Kelly had to get him out of there.
How do you think he got him out? He washed the grease off the walls.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Yep, that's not degreaser, son.
Oh my, that is.
I think that's what started the whole R. Kelly thing in this episode because it just kind of
came
kept
off the
flowing.
bars.
It kind of kept flowing
Just
from
kept,
your episode.
kept
That's
flowing.
what happens when you have back-to-back talk shows.
No, we were sitting side by side, just like we are now.
Yeah.
You are just.
I'm an awful person.
You're the
I'm
worst.
the worst kind of human
Why
being
did,
ever.
What did the police officer say to his child when it wouldn't go down to sleep?
Go to sleep.
Quit resisting arrest.
Oh, God.
Thank you for tuning in. This we're going to follow that with a 612-pound bluefin tuna.
Oh,
Sold for a record 333.6 million yen, which is about $3 million. Wow. In the first auction of 2019 after Tokyo's famed I'm not even going Tsukiji. Tsukiji Market was moved to the new site on the city's waterfront. The winning bid for the prize, but threatened species. Threatened. I bet he is threatened. Yeah. At the pre-dawn auction Saturday was more than double the 2013 annual New Year auction. It was paid by Kiyomura Corporation, whose owner, why do they do this to me? Kiyoshi Kimura runs the sushi Zanmai chain. Kimura has
What is with
often
the
won
Asian
the
news stories
annual,
that we're hitting up here?
What's your problem? And won the annual auction in the past. Japanese broadcaster NHK, which is actually what it is. I'm not just saying that's
Okay.
it's not spelled out phonetically. Showed a beaming Kimura, which you don't ever want to. You don't ever want to show your beaming Kimura.
I am
dude.
lost in this story.
Something about a fish. And
Yeah,
and
what's the names will throw you.
Yeah,
The guy's name is Kimura.
And
Is
he's
it-
beaming.
He is apparently a 612-pound tuna,
and he's an endangered species.
and he's worth a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
3 million
Yeah,
yen.
he's not endangered. He's threatened.
Oh, threatened. Well, yeah, I feel threatened.
Yeah,
Gotta
well,
stop
yeah,
hanging
they're
around
going
with
to.
millions of cats.
Yeah, yeah. But I guess if you're a 612-pound bluefin tuna that just got sold to a sushi restaurant, you're probably going to be threatened.
I'd be
There's
little
not a
concerned.
threat there. That's actually it's going to happen.
That is
That's
not
action.
implied.
That is action.
Anyway, yeah, we're done. Yeah,
So the
said
fish
he
was
he
expensive.
said he was surprised by the high price of the tuna this year, but added the quality of the tuna I bought is the best. Well, you certainly paid for it, idiot.
All right. Like,
I wonder if a 612-pound tuna will fall down the grease chute
Oh,
Yeah,
In the Chinese restaurant?
that'd be,
in a Chinese
yeah.
restaurant.
yeah.
And the Japanese owner would wonder why his Japanese fish has got Chinese grease on it.
Yeah.
Because you got taken. That's what it is. You got robbed.
you got taken.
Somebody took your $333 million, and they
You've been tooked.
yeah, you've been tooked. So many great names for this episode we could have, but I'm still going with Streaming with R. Kelly.
I think you should. And this is the first hour. We still have a second hour, so
How are we going to deal with that?
who knows where that's
Man,
going to go.
this is
I'm
amazing.
usually
This is
primed for
amazing.
1 hour,
Yeah.
so I may end up taking a nap through the second hour.
I think that's
Dawn
probably
takes
fair.
a nap through both
yeah,
hours.
That's probably fair. See, now that I have a babysitter in here, he can just take over for me.
Right.
He's got his own show. He knows what to do. Poke these buttons and we're good.
Poke these, but that's what
right.
she said. I think.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think, that is what R. Kelly said.
I wouldn't be surprised if Howard Stern said that at one point either.
Probably not. All right. Well, I think that's it. We're going to go ahead and take a little break, and because I got to run down to the all gender bathrooms.
The head.
You know?
Yes.
Yes.
Called the head.
The head.
If it was all gender mixed gender bathroom, would it still be called the head?
Yes.
Yes.
Because every
Okay.
gender has a head.
Right. Yeah.
Valid.
True on
Yeah.
but on multiple levels. Really.
We're speaking truth right now.
All right. I'm gonna go run to the head. That way, I don't. It's not offensive if it's just called the head. I'm gonna go. Every now and then you have to trail off mid sentence and just be done with it. We'll be back here shortly. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network or wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, with repeats on Wednesdays from 10 to noon and Thursdays from noon to 2. You can also stream the show live at WWSU1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Why is my memory gone?
You have a horrible memory, guy.
I do.